I mean, well, let's don't wishy-washy about it. Is the NFL scripted or is it not?
Man, I think they got billions of reasons to have an interest in who's there.
Is the NFL scripted? And I'm going to yell it a little louder because I don't think you heard me. Is
Okay.
the NFL scripted or is it not?
Absolutely. There you go.
Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, so you're a flat earther, NFL scripted.
No,
So we're going all the way that way. All
I'm
the
not
way
getting
with
into all the other
conspiracy theory.
conspiracies, but sometimes when you start labeling yourself sports entertainment and there's billions of dollars on the line, I don't believe there's not some people, blowing some wind in the sail to make the boat move, if that makes sense.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Thank you guys for joining and coming back. Big B Daily Show. We are live. Again, this is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley. Appreciate everybody being here. We're live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. What is going on, man? What is happening? Lot to cover, man. This weekend, it was wild. We're going to talk some court storming. Should they ban it? Should they not? Cam Newton it got jumped by apparently some teenagers. What the hell's going on with people these days? And then Russell Wilson is begging for rings, begging for an opportunity, just wants to play football. Where's it going to be? So let's start the show. So again, everybody on TikTok, we got a new feature, man. Go ahead and give me a follow. First thing is we need to get 5,000 likes. So keep tapping the screen, man. We need to get at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're not following, go ahead and give us a follow. That would be the first thing. And then the second thing, in the bio, go ahead and click that link. That'll take you right to the show over on TikTok, man. I'm sorry, not on TikTok, but right on YouTube. Click that link, that YouTube link in my bio, and it will bring you right to the live on YouTube. Right to the live. So go ahead and click that. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support. Let's get into this, man. So the first thing is this court storming thing. I mean, look, I don't think that it should be banned at all. You're giving kids an opportunity. I mean, that's part of a college experience. If we want kids to have a college experience, it is what it is. So do they need to put some safeguards in? Yeah, they do. I mean, you can't just let kids run over other kids because the first thing that we always talk about is, hey, let kids be kids. Well, aren't they kids on the court too? I mean, that's the first thing is you got to remember these aren't professionals technically. They're not technically professionals. So you got to put some safeguards in to allow kids to get off the court. So you got to allow them to get off the court. So, and some people over on TikTok said he didn't get run over. I mean, the one kid did hit him in the back. I mean, do we not forget about that? I'm not talking about him, the guy running in front of him, because look, Filipowski stuck his arms out to push that kid that ran in front of him. That absolutely happened. That happened. But there was another kid that did hit him in the back or pushed him in the back, whatever you want to call it. He did that. I mean, that happened. So saying, well, you got to stop losing games. I'm like, well, everybody doesn't win every single game, do you? I mean, I don't, that's a ridiculous argument. We'll never lose. Never in your life lose a basketball game, and then you don't have to go deal with it. I'm like, okay. I don't get it. I don't get it. My whole thing is let the kids storm the court. Just put some safeguards out there. That's all. Then we got idiots on TikTok saying, I'm soft. You're soft. I'm like, okay, I'm soft because I don't want somebody to get, because what will happen is somebody's going to end up getting laid out. One of those kids is going to run into the wrong person and they're going to get their ass laid out. Then you're going to want to blame the kid from Duke or from North Carolina or from Kansas or from Kentucky. You're going to want to blame them. But why? So I just, you put some safeguards in place. That's all you got to do. So that's all you got to do. Then people, they should have understood that it was at the end of the game. The game was close. What are you talking about? So I have to give up trying to win because of a court storming? Is that what we're saying? Hey, don't try to win this game. I know it's at the end and it's close. Don't try to win. Give that up so you can get off the court. I mean, oh my gosh. It's just, how about we just put some security in place? Can we just not do that? Is that asking too much? I've seen it at other places. Hell, at Kansas State, they put ropes up around and let kids just run onto the court, but they protect the players so they can get in the handshake line if there is a handshake line. It happens. It happens at plenty of places. This one, there was just nothing. They just said, let them run on, nothing in place. I don't know how much he's hurt, but if he got hurt even a little bit, isn't a little bit too much? Or do we not care about that? Because apparently some people on TikTok just don't care if anybody gets hurt. Their thing is don't lose and Katie bar the door. I wonder why you don't feel the same way about NBA or NFL games. I mean, they don't let anybody on the field in any of those aspects in a professional game. Now, why exactly is that? Because they know for a fact, if one of these snot-nosed people run up to a professional, one of these men, they're going to get laid out. That's exactly what's going to happen. They are going to get laid out, and then there's going to be lawsuits and all this other kind of stuff. They just don't let you on. And so in college, I don't think that should be the answer, just to not let anybody on, but you have to put some safeguards out there. You have to. And I don't think that's that hard to do. I mean, just put some people in there. So, and again, I've been a part of it. I've been on it on football and basketball, court storming and field storming. I've been on the losing side and the winning side. Now, it was 100 years ago, don't get me wrong, but in basketball, I didn't feel threatened. I didn't even think anything about it. I got to get to the locker room and just walk to the locker room. But it was a different time because people coming out of the stands weren't trying to get in your face. You know, nobody just ran up to you and pointed their finger at you, yelled at you. They didn't do any of that. They were trying to get to the celebration. I mean, so there was a difference. Now, that is not the case. Now, if people are running on the court, people are trying to get in your face. They got their cell phone in your face, yelling in your face. I mean, and yes, you can have more composure. Yes, you could have more composure. But for the most part, people, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. And nobody said it happened. Nobody said that somebody was running in somebody's face on Saturday. I didn't say that. I said it happened to me. Or it didn't happen. It has happened. I mean, we act like we haven't seen video footage of people getting in somebody's face when they're on the field. I mean, Kansas did it this year to a player from Oklahoma. He's standing right next to him, yelling at him, putting an L in his face while he's recording him, and then a guy behind him is threatening to punch him if the guy does anything. I mean, we saw that. That literally happened. That, I don't think anybody thinks that's okay, do we? I mean, do we think that that's okay? And if you do think that that's okay, Are you okay with the result of, hey, this guy's in my face and I pushed him out of my face? Are you okay with that? You know, that's my only thing. Are you okay with the result? You have to be if you're okay with the instigation. Again, storm the court and just go be happy and go celebrate. Why do you have to get in somebody else's face? I never got that. I take that back. I do get that. Because the only people that ever get in anybody's face in those situations are the people that can't play, were never any good, and this is their claim to fame. I'm going to go, look, I was never good enough to be out here, so I got to go and yell and get in this guy's face. You know it, and I know it. Those are the only people that do that. And they ruin it for 98% of the people because most people aren't doing that. They're just trying to be out there, have fun, which is exactly what it should be. Good point. Somebody says people that haven't ever won anything can't act like they've been there. That's exactly right. But I wouldn't say that necessarily for basketball for a team. It doesn't matter. Look, if you want to celebrate a big win, celebrate a big win. I mean, don't get mad because another team, look, you're really good. We haven't always been good. We beat you. We're happy. We're storming the field. We're storming the court. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Just don't get in the other team's face when you're doing it. If we could eliminate that part of it, I think everything would be fine. So I think everything would be fine. But instead, we can't eliminate that. And since we can't eliminate that, look, you guys know it. I know it. There's going to be a bigger issue that happens. Something else is gonna happen. Hell, we saw it with LeGarrette Blount. Now, granted, he didn't hit a fan. He hit another guy from another team, some bench warmer, got in his face. But we're gonna see something bad happen. Some fan is gonna get in the wrong person's face, and it is not going to end well. I just hope that nobody blames the kid that's just trying to get to the locker room when that happens. Don't blame that kid. Because if you do, you're wrong. You're wrong. My man, Pat Cockrell, he says court storming shouldn't be banned, but there needs to be time given for the opposition to leave the court. That'll never happen. You can't. What are you going to do? Hey, storm the court, but give them 10 seconds to get off. They're not going to do that. The excitement is right in the moment. I get what you're saying. That would be real ideal. But hey, let's just say the game's at 7 o'clock and the game ends at 9:30. College kids, they're drunk. They're not waiting. They're getting out on that court. They're getting out on that field. So somebody said, did he die on TikTok? So because somebody didn't die, that makes it okay? Is that what we're talking about? Oh my God, who is this? Some guy named Clarky Malarkey on TikTok said he didn't die. So that's the standard that we're talking about, people. Because this kid doesn't die from somebody storming the court, nothing else matters as long as he didn't die. Gee, many Christmas. You know, there's dumb people in this world, and then there's ignorant people in this world. And sometimes all of that gets combined into one. I think we found that this morning. Now he's trying to backtrack and say it's a joke. Yeah, that you weren't trying to be funny. You're just ignorant. But we got something that we do with ignorant people. If there's a raging fire and you're not going to put it out because someone didn't die. That's exactly my thing, Chad. I mean, oh my God. Somebody didn't die. I'm not even going to keep going. We blocked him. We got him out of here. We just don't deal with ignorant people. Lord have mercy. That apparently, but that's the mentality, people. That's the mentality. Yeah, he got hurt. It wasn't that big of a deal. He didn't die, so who cares? Oh, my God. As long as he doesn't die. Lord have mercy. Mm, mm, Let's move on. So, let's move on. Court storming. Bobby Wagner showed what happens when you run onto an NFL field, Big B. Yeah, exactly right. And anybody that wants to check it out, they should go check out Bobby Wagner. Just Google Bobby Wagner court field storming. So, no patience for ignorance. No patience. People are saying it's just a saying. Who cares? We're having a real discussion. Stupidity doesn't, I don't deal with stupidity. Somebody over, Johnny says, I'd keep the fans off the court until the opposing team has left the court. You can say that, and that sounds great, but I don't know that it can happen. But let's move on, people. Let's move on. So, speaking of getting punched and getting jumped, that's a great segue. Cam Newton. Let's see. Cam Newton just got jumped, and apparently it was a bunch of teenagers. Apparently, a bunch of teenagers jumped Cam Newton at a 7-on-7 tournament. I mean, first of all, what did Cam Newton do that a bunch of kids decided to jump him? The disrespect for Cam Newton is absolutely insane, people. Nobody respects him. Nobody respects him. They don't respect him as a player, as a older guy. I mean, I guess he's not that old, but still, I mean, jumping Cam Newton? Why are you fighting this guy? What did he do? It's insane. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what Cam Newton did. I don't know what Cam Newton, what the big disrespect or the disconnect on why people are so mad at Cam Newton. I mean, look, Cam Newton was a great football player. When he was healthy, Cam Newton was great. But I think what people get stuck on are basically the last 3, maybe 4 years when Cam was hurt and couldn't play anymore because he just had destroyed his shoulder and he could no longer throw. And when he couldn't do that anymore, that's what people hung on to. And, you were never any good. Yeah, Cam was good. Cam was very good. So, but the one thing about it is, and I've seen a lot of people online talking about it. Did y'all notice, anybody that saw that video, did y'all notice Cam Newton's hat? Now, I know we all made fun of his hat, but have y'all seen Cam Newton's hat? That thing didn't move. That hat didn't move not a centimeter. All that pushing and shoving and punching and swaying, that hat didn't move a centimeter. I think we all got to get one of them. Look, whether you support Cam or not, we got to get one of them hats. I mean, because if it's not, I mean, he was ducking down and swaying and bobbing and weaving and punching. He was doing everything. And yet, didn't move. Didn't come off his head. Nothing. I mean, nothing. Here we go. I need a Cam hat for go time. Yes. Yes. You know, friend of mine said, hey, man, if the apocalypse comes, We need a Cam Newton hat. We got to have a Cam Newton hat. That, by the way, whoever is coming to bomb us, they know we mean business. Because we got one of them Cam Newton hat. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm with it. I'm with it. My thing was, but I just can't figure out why people are trying to beat up Cam Newton. Why a bunch of kids are trying to beat up Cam Newton. What the hell is going on, man? What? I mean, seriously, what is going on? Why are you trying to beat up Cam Newton? What, his 7-on-7 team beat you? And now you're mad about it? I hate being the old guy, but man, we live in a different time these days. Because when I was a kid, and let's just say 17, if I tried to beat up an adult, or me and my friends were there, do you know how many adults would have come over and whooped our ass? And I don't mean spanking us. I mean, would have just beat the shit out of us. That would have happened. You're not going up beating up on no grown man. But that's not even the case. I would have never even thought to try to beat up a grown man. Whether I could have done it or not, that wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind. Wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind. I could be mad. Man, this dude, whatever, I'm going to whoop his ass. No, that didn't cross my mind. And I think it didn't cross a lot of people's mind. And now there's just, somebody on TikTok said it's a respect thing. You're absolutely right. There is zero respect that goes on now. And I don't want to hear, well, you got to give respect to get respect. I'm an adult. Oh, you're a child. There's the respect. Just being a child, talking to an adult, that should be enough to have enough respect. But times are different, man. The times are different. Now you got kids trying to beat up grown men. Not to mention they had absolutely no chance to beat up Cam Newton. Y'all saw the footage. Y'all saw what happened. They're lucky because they're better than me. Cam's a better person than me. Because y'all saw he had that one kid and bent over the rail. I may have broken his back on that railing. You're going to come and try to jump me? Well, apparently you're an adult now. The only rule that I know to fighting, you fight to win. I mean, what other rule is it? I mean, you don't fight to just play around. You don't fight to stop. The last time I checked and how I was taught by my mother and father, you fight. If you're fighting, it's to win. Period. End of story. Yeah, I'd have taken that kid. I'd have broken his back over that railing. You gonna come and jump me? Absolutely not. I'll choke you out. But then Cam got punched, kind of stood up a little bit. Then they broke it up. They're lucky. And somebody in the comments over here on TikTok, he's 6'6", 260. That's my thing. What? That's how you know kids are crazy. That's how you know kids are crazy. At what point, and these kids look like they were a bunch of like 5'5" guys. At what point do you say, hey man, let's jump this guy? He's 6'6", 260. I'm 5'5", 108. Let's get him. What? Just, oh my goodness. It's crazy. My man Wakan says that hat would have whooped their butts. Yeah, buddy. He should have taken it off and just whipped them with it. Should have taken it off and just whipped them with it, man. I just don't get it. It's just crazy to me. It honestly is. It's just crazy to me. Man. But yeah, the Cam Newton, y'all should be glad that you all jumped Cam Newton. Because if there's other people that you would have jumped that have a temper like mine, one of them kids, we've been talking about how Big B killed this kid because they jumped him at a 7-on-7 tournament. Golly. What are you doing? Yes, exactly. Cam Newton held up. He held off. He absolutely did. He held him off, did his thing. Somebody's saying jump AB and see what happens. Yeah, you're right. See, if you jump somebody that's crazy, then what happens? Whoo! Like I said, they're lucky. Cam Newton is a civilized human being. Because you jump the wrong person. That's what kids don't understand these days, man. Especially an adult. Whew. Goodness gracious, goodness gracious. So we're gonna move on, man. Because these kids, man, they got my blood boiling this morning. These kids are crazy. They got my blood boiling. I'm gonna move on. So as a reminder, people, you all keep tapping the screen on TikTok. We need 5,000 likes and at least 30 new follows. Monday through Friday, Big B Daily. It is on live on TikTok, live on YouTube. You can always catch it live. You can always catch it later. TikTok, again, the feature, give me a follow, man. Go to my bio, click on that link. It will take you directly to the live over on YouTube. And you get a lot of access. Go subscribe over on YouTube. You get a ton of access over there that you wouldn't otherwise get. So come on over, join the live, and subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. So somebody said jump Draymond Green. We don't want that to happen, man. We don't need those kind of problems. Thank you for the gift, man. Yeah, we don't need anybody jumping Draymond Green. We don't need, jumping Cam is like jumping LeBron. You know LeBron's not going to fight. But jump Jimmy Butler. Go jump Jimmy Butler. What do you think is going to happen if you jump Jimmy Butler? What do people think is going to happen? We saw Jimmy Butler the other night try to choke a man on the court. Go jump Jimmy Butler. Thank you, Ginger, for the gifts, man. We appreciate it, brother. Yeah. It's crazy. Don't be silly, people. Don't be silly. Oh, all right, man. All right. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's about that life. Damn right he is. Again, Jimmy Butler got a temper like Jimmy Butler's an old soul, and y'all know old souls don't play that mess. Like I said, my mother, my 78-year-old sweet mother, if I were to ask her today, hey, Mom, this guy, he jumped me. What should I do? Well, did you break his neck? That would have been her first comment to me. My mother, did you break his neck? I mean, that's how she lived. So imagine me as a kid. Kids fight. Hey, Brian, you fight to win. You pick up a stick. You pick up a rock. There are no rules to fighting except one. Win. Fight dirty. So, whew, unbelievable. Let's move on, people. So Russell Wilson is wanting to win some rings, man. Russell Wilson says he wants to win. We saw that interview on I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall and basically said, look, I want to be in Denver. I want to win in Denver. I'm committed to Denver. But doesn't sound like Denver wants me. I want to be somewhere where I'm wanted. And I think we all know that Denver doesn't want Russell Wilson anymore. I mean, that's painfully obvious. So the question is, where is a good fit for Russell Wilson? Because remember, he gets $39 million from Denver no matter what. So if they cut him, okay, you're not going to trade for Russell Wilson. Nobody's going to trade and pay that contract. So Denver's going to have to cut him. Denver also, I think they got to eat. I can't remember. It's like $42 million in dead money for doing it. I'm like, whew, but whatever. Do we want him in Pittsburgh? Is he a good fit in Atlanta? I mean, I don't think that it's a thing that Russell Wilson can't play anymore. I don't think that is the problem. I think he can. I questioned it, but I think he can still play. And if he can still play, then shouldn't people be giving him an opportunity? Here we go. Here it is on TikTok. Minnesota, the Cowboys. Now, Minnesota doesn't sound horrible because they're not going to pay Kirk Cousins. They're going to start over. The Patriots. Yeah, if the Patriots just want to bridge something, maybe. I mean, the one thing to remember about Russell Wilson, he's 35 years old. That's the first thing. So if you bring in a 35-year-old, I would guess you got to be ready to win now, or you're just bridging stuff. So That would be my whole thing. So I don't know about Russell Wilson. Again, as a diehard Steelers fan, we got an offense that could win right now with him. So, and that's what people over here on TikTok are saying. Steelers should sign Russell Wilson. Well, he also said Cam Newton, so now I can't take you serious. I apologize. Are any of those teams win now mode? The Steelers are in win now mode. Atlanta's in win now mode. Yeah. Now, is Minnesota? I think Minnesota could be. Because here's the thing. Minnesota caught fire. What would Minnesota have been if Kirk Cousins is healthy all year? So, I just don't know. I don't know. If I'm the Steelers, I mean, I would rather have Justin Fields. But my thing about Justin Fields, I'm not giving Chicago a second-round pick. Nope. I would rather sign Russell Wilson and just move on that way. If Chicago won't take a third-round pick for Justin Fields, then you can keep him. Or you can trade him somewhere else. We'll move on. Miami is not getting off of Tua. So, I mean, here's the thing. People act like Tua was a bad quarterback. I don't get why people think that Tua was bad. I mean, he had the best year of his career. He stayed healthy. He gave you opportunities to win. I mean, you didn't lose in the playoffs because of Tua. It wasn't his fault. Now, I'm not saying he played great against the Chiefs. But the game, I mean, Tua was fine. Get that defense fixed. Get that offensive line fixed a little bit more. The Dolphins kind of are what they are. But Tua's not horrible. Tua's not horrible. So, and if you would rather have Kirk Cousins than Tua, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think Tua's fine. And I'm not even a big Tua guy. I don't think Tua's the greatest quarterback out there. I said, but you would definitely be doing yourself a disservice to move off of him when you don't have somebody guaranteed to be there. So that would be my thing. But back to Russell Wilson. I don't know, people. What's a good fit for him? I mean, we talked about it. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, New England. I don't know about New England. Minnesota. I mean, there's some teams out there. Let's see. Now, nowhere in the AFC South. Nowhere in the AFC North. Nowhere in the AFC West, unless the Raiders. Could Russell go to the Raiders? Because they don't have a quarterback. Does that make sense? I don't know. So, I mean, and number one, if Russ came out and said he wanted to play, because I think that was a big thing, does he really want to play anymore when he knows he's getting $39 million, even if he's sitting on his couch? So, and my man Troy Boy says they wouldn't be able to protect Russell, but I think the Raiders are about to change all of that with free agency and the draft. They're about to upgrade their offensive line. Because you are right. Their line was bad. So, New Orleans, New England, or Pittsburgh? Why? I mean, they restructured David Carr's contract. Can I just ask why New Orleans is stuck on David Carr being their starter? Can I ask anybody that question? And does anybody have a good answer? That would be another question. Lord have mercy. You talk about a team that was ready to win. The Saints were ready to win last year, but yet they had Derek Carr as their quarterback and refused to give 30 for 30 Jameis Winston even a little bit of an opportunity. I mean, they rolled David Carr out there in a wheelchair for him to play before they gave Winston an opportunity, which that kind of says that Winston must really, they hate him. Man. Whew. Thanks for the gift, man. But gee, many Christmas. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's move on. Let's move to the open mic Q&A section of the show today. Let's see what we got out there. My man Jacob Perkins, next Steelers QB power ranking. Fields for the right price. Russ, Kirk again. Price. 4, Mason. 5, Jaden Daniels or Penix. Notice the glaring omission. Hey, Jacob, you and me are on the same page about baby hands. We don't need baby hands as our quarterback. Not another second. No more baby hands Pickett for the Steelers. I do think you're a little. Kirk Cousins is not going to be in the fold for the Steelers. That's not going to happen. And Mason Rudolph has basically said, I'm going to test free agency elsewhere. He doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh anymore. I don't want Penix. Jaden Daniels, maybe, but he's not going to be around for the Steelers to take. I don't want Penix, though. Nope. A lot of people like Penix. A lot of people don't. I've seen what I've seen out of Penix. Doesn't make tight window throws. Great arm. Health injury or health issues. He's not for us. So, he's not for us. Burrow. Oh, here's a question. My man GB over here on TikTok says Burrow also has baby hands. Pickett is just not that good, unfortunately. Well, you're right, but I'm going to call baby hand. At least Burrow don't play with 2 gloves because his hands are so small. So that means his hands are small and they must be weak. Because now you got to wear gloves. I'm done with it. Cheesecake on TikTok's asking about Purdue. College basketball. Y'all know I love college basketball. Look, here's the thing about Purdue. Until I see Purdue beat a team in the tournament that has athletic wings, I am not a believer in Purdue. I've seen the last 2 years, Purdue had great basketball teams get beat by run-of-the-mill schools, but because they had athletic wings, Purdue couldn't guard them. And until I see them do that, I'm just not going to be a believer. I'm not saying they can't do it this year. It's a different team. Great. Go prove it to me. But if you can't prove it to me, I don't want to hear it. Russ could probably work in Washington. Yeah, he probably could. Do you all like Sam Howell? Because I don't like Sam Howell. I know some people in Washington think he's okay. I think they could move off of Sam Howell and make him a backup. They could bring Russell Wilson right in and start there. So, Dodgers winning the World Series. Don't they say that every year, and every year in the playoffs they choke? I mean, every year. Now, granted, I know the next comment, well, who's your team? The Mets. The Mets stink. Yes, we do. But the Dodgers every year, well, they're going to win it, and every year they choke. Clayton Kershaw gives up 100 runs in 2 innings every single playoff cycle. So, UConn's winning it all. Go Duke. I don't know about Duke. Duke has a good team. But I'm not sure that they have, and when it gets again, and you get into the tournament and you got to make shots, I don't know if they can make enough shots to win. We'll see. My man Al Woody, thoughts and prayers for Cowboys Nation as they lost John Golden Richards. Anybody hear about that? We heard about it. I live here in Dallas, so we heard all about it. So I didn't know if any Cowboy fans, I wanted to just put that out for Cowboy fans. John Golden Richards passed away. All right. Here's my man over on YouTube. If Purdue gets a mid-major with talented guards in the first round, that mid-major will probably play Edey off the court. Another quick exit. Yeah, that's the issue. They just can't guard those guards. That's been their problem. But if they can find a way to do it, again, this is a different team. If they can find a way and make Edey effective, then they can win. But the problem has been, like last year, they just said, okay, Edey, get all the points you want. We're not going to let anybody else do anything. And they couldn't, and they got beat by Fairleigh Dickinson. Gee, many Christmas. So, Man over on TikTok asked, is Dak worth $60 million? Dak is a good quarterback, but Dak is not even remotely close to paying $60 million. No. No. I wouldn't pay Dak $60 million. I don't care what. No way, no how. No way, no how. He's not worth it. Dak, if you want to stay with the Cowboys, we're going to re-up you, but you got to take $40 million a year because we can't put a team around you to win. We need more people, obviously, to put around you because the team that we had this year was really good, Dak, and you couldn't win with them. So we got to get more. So we want you here, but you got to take $40 million so we can put more around you so you can win. If you don't want to do that, see you later, Dak. We'll get somebody else. So, how do I feel about Kentucky's big win? I mean, I like Kentucky. The thing about Kentucky is they are so inconsistent, which is going to get them beat in the tournament, is because they played great against Auburn. Great. Then lousy against LSU. Then go and turn around and play another great against Alabama. Well, I don't know who they play next, but they're going to play lousy. They're just inconsistent. So, yeah, Kentucky is so random because they haven't played defense all year. And even on their win on Saturday, they didn't play great defense. They just scored a ton because Alabama plays worse defense than them. But then they go to Auburn, and I think Auburn only got 59 points. I'm like, well, they have the ability to play defense. They just don't do it. So it's weird. It's weird. But Kentucky's one of the most talented, if not the most talented team in the country. But they don't play like that, and that'll get them beat in the tournament. You can't just be inconsistent and win in the tournament. It needs luck, you need consistency, and you need guard play to win in the NCAA tournament. And they don't have that. So, field storming in college football is much worse. Yeah, because the field is bigger. The cameras aren't everywhere. Again, I love the court storming and the field storming. If we could just get these people to stay out of the opposing players' faces, then it's fine. Just go celebrate. But your celebrating doesn't require you to come run in my face and scream in my face. Because what's your purpose? Are you looking for a reaction? Because you're going to do that to the wrong person. You're going to get the wrong reaction. So just storm the court. I'm sorry. Storm the court. Lord have mercy. It's been an early morning with no coffee. Storm the field. Stay out of people's face. Period. Just period. It's the same, but here's the thing. The person that gets in somebody's face on the court or on the field is the same person that'll get in your face, get drunk, and get in your face at the bar. Y'all ever notice that? That'll be the same person that'll get drunk and get in your face at the bar, and then when you smack them, then all of a sudden they're mad. What are you talking? Why would you do that? Same person. So, Baylor or TCU tonight. The game's at TCU, correct? And Baylor coming off a tough game. If y'all missed the Baylor-Houston game on Saturday, to me, that was the best game of the season. So, best game of the season. You need to get some coffee. Starting the morning with no coffee is insane. Yes, it is. But I had to get some blood drawn. So I was running around this morning. I'm already shaky. I'm shaky. I need my coffee. Baylor at TCU. Give me TCU. TCU's a better team than what people around the country think. Baylor's a little inconsistent, although I like them. But give me TCU. My man Mario, what's going on, Mario? Talking about Richard Sherman got arrested for DUI again. I don't know. Did anybody see Undisputed this morning? Was Richard Sherman on it? Because I just got a feeling this is going to end bad because I don't think his probation was up from the last time. So I feel like He's going to get fired from Undisputed. He's going to get fired from Amazon. I hope that's not the case, but you all know how this stuff goes. You know how this stuff goes, man. Richard, come on, Richard. What are you doing? What are you doing? Be smarter than that. So, my man Pat Cockrell is against giving Dak $60 million. He says paying Dak $60 million proves that Jerry Jones isn't serious about winning. And he's a Cowboys fan. He's a diehard Cowboys fan. I agree. Yeah, it would be silliness to pay Dak that kind of money. But, you know, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. My man David Gonzalez. Field storming is as much of a threat as court storming. Much bigger area, so players see you coming and fans aren't compressed and players are wearing pads and helmets. Well, yeah, that's true. But I can also go the other way is because it's so much bigger, and you've got a helmet on, your peripheral vision isn't as good, and you can't see people coming behind you or from the side of you. Now, granted, yes, you are protected by helmets. It always killed me to see football players wanting to fight, and first thing they do is take off your helmet. I'm like, are you an idiot? But so you're right, being protected with what they have on the equipment, but there are a lot more people. That would be the one thing. There's a lot more people. So there's the argument to that. It is bigger, not as compressed. You have on equipment that can save you from getting hit from somebody, but there are a hell of a lot more people that run on a football field than a college basketball court. So, but valid points. So, my man Jacob Perkins, he said seeing Syracuse storm the court a couple weeks ago made me cringe. Like y'all were a power less than a decade ago. I mean, see, here's my thing about that, Jacob. I know what people always say is, hey, you're storming the court. Act like you've been there before. Well, what about the kid that's a freshman in college? He's never been there before. What about that kid? You know, what about the kid who's been at college for 2 years? He's a junior, and his team never won a big game, and then they win a really big game. So that's my thing. Is just check that. I mean, I get what you're saying, Jacob. I'm with you. I'm with you. Because you don't see it at Kentucky or at Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. You don't see it at those blue blood. Louisville, when Louisville was good. You didn't see people storming the court like that. Once in a blue moon, you might see it. But you didn't really see people doing that kind of stuff. And so I get it. But I don't think you should look down on somebody who does. I don't. It's part of the college experience if it happens at your school. You know? And again, I always say this. You go to college for the experience. You go for education, but just right next to education is the experience. You know, life lessons. That's why you go to college. Got to grow up. That's part of it. So, well, I think we're going to shut this one down for today, people. I appreciate everybody in here. Again, TikTok, we appreciate you. Please continue to follow. If you're not following and you're in here, please give me a follow. We appreciate that, man. The Daily Show, Big B Daily, is on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to either, please do. Follow on TikTok. Subscribe over on YouTube. And on TikTok, if you go into my bio, click on the YouTube link, it'll take you right to this live. You can watch this, previous lives, podcasts, interviews, a lot of access things and shorts, things that you don't have access to on TikTok. We appreciate everybody that was here today. Come back tomorrow, people. We love you. Aloha.